Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you about the U.S. educational system, traditional U.S. educational system, and then I'll tell you about something you might call a hybrid, and we'll explain why it's a hybrid, and then maybe you can tell me about the German system. Great. So, between kindergarten, when you're about 5 years old, until 16, which we call 10th grade,
Okay.
grades are everything. The words you look for are GPA, grade point average. I think British people talk about what is your mark. We say what is your grade, right? And I think that in Britain it used to be at 1, 2, 3, 1 being the highest. Now I think they switched to ABC.
Yeah.
Right. So I worked very hard in this system. Everyone said you must prepare for university. So at every stage I was preparing for the next level.
Okay.
Right? That's what I was preparing for, not for life, for the next level.
Yeah,
Right?
sure.
So when I was 18, I decided I'm going to take some time off, something they call a gap year in England. And this was the first time I actually earned money. There was a consequence for not getting on time. I went to a boarding school, so someone was waking you up at 7 in the morning. There was food available only for 15 minutes, so you had to be there.
Oh my God.
And then you must get down to an assembly hall.
Oh my God.
5 minutes. So it was very regimented. So I left there, and I could sleep as late as I wanted. It was such a great change for me. And frankly, I wasn't ready for it. Right. So eventually, I went to my first year of university. I was 19 years old, and I didn't feel connected. You know, there's a theory that somewhere there's a guy named Erickson, and his first name is Eric. I think he's Scandinavian,
Yeah. seems
Danish
like,
or something,
yeah,
with a
seems
K.
like it, yeah.
And he said that there are stages in development. I think, Freud also had
Yeah.
some of these
Yeah, I know.
ideas, right? So Freud was in there too. I like Erickson's stages because if you look up Erik Erikson, we would see different names. The part I find very useful is between the ages of 10 and 12 years old. He calls it industry. Can I contribute to the group? Am I helpful? In this age, many young girls are helping their mothers in the kitchen and actually making, because they were helping before, but by 12 years old, my sisters knew how to make beautiful salads, and they could even go shopping and know ahead of time what to, next week I want to make a cake. Let me get these materials. Or, mother, could you please bring some extra flour? Right. So there's a lot of planning that goes along. I had none of this. I mean, I was told, you're preparing for university, study, right? And so read some books, right? So most of my summers, most of my time was spent in academics. And when I was asked, well, what can I do to help? So, you're preparing for university, right? So a lot of pressure to get into a particular university.
Which university did you want to get
Oh,
in?
Princeton. Oh, yes. Both grandfathers, both uncles.
Oh, okay.
There
you get
was.
in?
Oh, yeah, I got in. That was my goal, to get in.
Okay.
After 1 year, I said, this is not for me.
Okay. Okay.
So you have to be careful what your goal is.
Yeah.
Good
Hi.
morning. Come
I'm
on
glad
in.
you're so.
I know, she's so glad. We will be having some visitors.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so you will need to interview them.
Oh.
All right? They will sit right. Oh, yeah. She will need to interview them. Good. We're discussing the differences in educational systems. And Erik Erikson says that somewhere between 10 and 12 years old, that's the time when the student or the child needs to feel that he's useful. If you give him something, he does it expertly, and then you use what he did. You don't make any changes because it's perfect for you. And my sister could sew buttons at this stage. By the time she was 12, she was fixing things. I could sweep leaves. In the fall, when the leaves fell, we had a driveway in our house, in front of our house, and it was covered with leaves. So I knew how to remove leaves. Now, I did not know about Erik Erikson, but if I had at that age, I would have said, can I do something besides just studying books? I want to be able to be useful outside of the school. And I was doing very well in the school. Right? Excellent marks. But there was a certain part of me that stayed away from difficult things. I didn't want to fail. And so this system, with the focus on getting into university, worked. I got into university. No problem about that. But I was very dissatisfied. There was something missing. And so I spent the next 3 years working in a company. I started packing books. I was useful. I learned how I can ship anything. I can look at something and say, I know the kind of packing material for that. This package is not adequate for mailing. It may look as though it's nice paper, a seal, but for me, I will not accept this. There's a report of 50 pages in here, and I will not send this. I will use a different kind of packing material called Tyvek. You can't break this stuff. It's amazing. And see, I became an expert in packaging. Yes, I was 20 years old. Everyone else in my age group was halfway through university. And what was I doing? Packing boxes. And I was happy. Because finally, I was able to contribute. See, that was very important for me. So, imagine my surprise when I found out that the most expensive, I went to a very expensive university, and the boarding school, what we call it boarding school, the boarding school was more expensive than the university.
Well,
Yeah. At that time, perhaps it was $10,000.
yeah.
The place that I went to cost this much each year for a teenager. Even with this kind of money. Okay, there is one good thing that came out of it. I learned how to work on a team. They put 3 boys with a map and camping gear, and they said, we'll pick you up on the other side of the mountain. Don't die. And they taught us some skills. We were not given ropes, so we did not go to high places, but we accomplished something and we worked together. And we cooked our own food. Badly, but we cooked our own food. Right? So that was one good thing that the school provided me. But I felt that I didn't have skills with my hands. I needed to learn how to use my hands. So